Hey fifth graders, let's start talking about your project. We are going to be painting layered cakes. They're going to kind of look like this, acrylic on canvas. So there's a couple of things that we need to consider. We're creating a cake and we want it to make it look three-dimensional. So we're going to be drawing a cylinder. A cylinder is a three-dimensional shape, just like this coffee can. So when we're looking at the cake, we're not looking at the top of the cake. We're going to be kind of looking into it with that slice taken out. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw the shape of the cake as a 3D object. There's a number of different tools you can use. You can use a compass to make circles. We could trace two protractors together to make a circle, because sometimes using a compass can be a little cumbersome. I have a nice locking compass here. What I'm going to do to use the compass is I'm going to make a dot. That's where I know my center is going to be. My metal point always has to stay on that center point. With a compass, you can elect to either move the compass around or you can move the paper around. The most important part is you always want to stay on that center point. I also find it easiest if you're kind of dragging the compass around in a circle. Okay, then you have a nice circle. Now, that can be kind of tricky for fifth graders. So what I'm going to use for this demonstration is I'm going to take two protractors and I'm going to overlap the protractors because I'm not really getting a circle. I want sort of an ellipse, as you can see in the picture. The top of the cake is sort of an ellipse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to firmly hold my protractors in place and I'm going to trace around. My line will need to be fixed up just a bit. Okay, I can put my protractors to the side. That part needed fixing up, so I'm going to fix that up. This is just my sketch. Now I have a circle. I've essentially drawn the top of the cake. Now I have to decide how big do I want my cake. So I'm going to use a ruler. What I'm going to do is I'm going to line my ruler up with the top edge of my cake. I'm going to say, I want my cake approximately this tall. So I'm going to go, this is a ½ inch, so I have 1.5 inches so far, and another inch. So I did 2.5 inches. Now I'm from the top in the same position without moving my ruler, 2.5 inches again. These two lines coming down on my cake. I'm going to simply slide my ruler across. When I hit approximately the same height as I did before, I'm going to again make a 2.5 inch line. Okay. I apologize, my ruler was just a smidge crooked. If you want to make sure that your lines are perfectly vertical, you could certainly use a T-square and square up your paper. So let's look at these lines. Let's double check our lines. There should be 4 vertical lines. They should be all parallel to each other. And each line, the one at the top and the bottom, should line up with each other. Now what we need to do is make the second part of the cake. The second part of the cake, you're going to make with the two protractors again. I had it here. Now I'm simply going to slide my protractors, boom, until they hit the ends of those lines. I'm going to show you that again so you don't miss it. I take my two protractors overlapped, and I'm going to slide it down. Slide it until I hit the end of those circles and redraw. So now what I have is I have two circles, just like on the cake. I have the top circle and then I have the bottom circle. Now, what I can do is I can start eliminating lines that I don't need, just so it's easier to make sense of it. I'm going to first start by eliminating those top 2 lines, and I'm going to eliminate that inner circle. So I'm seeing the entirety of that top circle. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler, I'm going to slide it in from the left, and I'm going to make a vertical line. So what I did was I connected those two. And then this little space in here I'm going to erase. My goodness, it's looking more and more like a cake every single second. Now I'm going to take my ruler, I'm going to slide it across. When I hit the edge of those two circles, I'm going to again make a vertical line. And then I'm going to slide my ruler out of the way. Now that little space in here, that little triangle, I'm going to eliminate that triangle by just erasing that. So right now I have a pretty good looking cylinder, but now I need that magnificent slice taken out of that cake. That magnificent slice. We could draw it freehand for sure. We could find the center of our circle, measure and find the center of our circle, 6 inches, 3, and then measure down, 3 inches, and that would be the center of our circle. Okay, so I found the center of the circle by measuring. How wide is the circle? 6 inches. How tall is the circle? That's 6 inches, and made a center, a dot. And then you could simply connect. Remember those original lines that we didn't erase yet? Connect. I like to put my pencil on the dot. Put it back here. Pivot that ruler. Line it up with that line. Now I have that awesome slice started. Another thing that you could do is you could simply use a ruler. A triangle. Depending on how wide you wanted your slice. What angle. You could certainly use a triangle to simply draw it. Now, what we want to notice in our cakes here is that the angle of this line here, the top slice, is the same exact angle down there. So what we're going to do is we're going to line up our ruler with that angle. If you use the triangle, you would just use the triangle again on the bottom. You're going to slide it parallel until you reach that bottom line and go across. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Slide it down, go across. I should make a middle line for myself. Right in the center there. Slide it down, across. And back over here. Okay, now we've got to erase that curved line that went right through our center slice. Now we have a really good looking cake shape. Let's take out this slice part. To add a layer in the cake, we can simply take our ruler again, slide it parallel, add a line, parallel, line. The cake layers should line up. That's how they would work out if you were baking a cake. So we should draw them that way. Line and line. Now we have a great start to our cake.